In the legal world, there is a combination of forces that feed a corrupt and suffocating legal system for attorneys. Law schools, law professionals, judges, and even the firms themselves for whom you work create a system, a matrix, if you will, that is nothing like what you thought when you passed the bar exam. The purpose of this podcast is to help you escape this legal matrix, leading you out of the proverbial desert to be free of the bondage of the matrix. Hosted by Bryce D. Nyer, attorney at law with over 30 years experience in the trenches of civil and criminal litigation at the state, federal, and international levels. He's a highly accomplished and resourceful legal professional, a true master of his craft, and he's here to help you get your life back. Here's your host, Bryce D. Nyer.
All right. This is Bryce D. Nyer coming at you live from Fayetteville, North Carolina for another episode of Escape the Legal Matrix. Woo! We got a hot topic tonight, and we've got Drake, our Labrador Retriever. He's in the house. He's kind of snoozing right now. So tonight's topic is about do-overs. Yeah, doing your do-overs. You've heard that term before. Here's a question. If you had your life to do over, what would you do differently? Would you do anything differently? And the reason I say that is because I just recently had a birthday. I'm not going to give you my age, but it's between 1 and 100. Anyway, I've lived many decades. I'm certainly not a life coach. I'm not the know-all, but I thought about that on my birthday. And a lot of my close friends said that you need to be more grateful for a lot of things. And they're right. God has blessed me with a lot of things, and I guess I haven't always been grateful to God or Jesus. I've taken them for granted and when I shouldn't have. But I got to thinking, what would I do differently? And I'm going to tell you something. I would do a lot of things differently. A lot of people said, well, then you wouldn't be the person that you are today. I'm like, well, maybe not. Maybe I'd be a better person. Maybe I'd be a better man. Maybe I would have been a better husband. Maybe a better father. Maybe a better friend. Maybe a better son. Maybe a better brother. But yeah, you bet. I would have done a lot. Knowing what I know now, if I could go back in time, which I can't, and there are no do-overs, and I get that, but each birthday, it is a celebration because you're still alive and God is giving you an opportunity to be with Him, to do the right thing, and to find the joy that He has created, even in the world that is aflame in chaos and quickly spiraling toward the end. There's no doubt in my mind. And quite frankly, I really need to start, changing the way I live and the way I behave, what I say and do or don't say or don't do, to reflect what God's plan is, what Jesus' plan is. I do. A lot of people mock that and laugh at, but I really don't care. Because again, at the end of the day, nobody's leaving this planet alive, and there will not be a U-Haul attached to your 6 when you depart this planet. So getting back to what we were talking about, yeah, I do a lot of things over. And a lot of people don't want to really get into specifics of what they would do over, but I will. First of all, I would not have gotten involved with my girlfriend in high school. I just wouldn't have done it. I think a lot of times in high school, people get their hormones get raging and they get involved. They're like, oh, I'm in love, blah, blah, blah. And it's usually around age 17. And they go off track and they go crazy town. And I would have focused more, even though my grades for the most part were pretty good. But I started to go off track and off path, being all inundated with my girlfriend until she broke up with me. Then I kind of my head spun for a while, and then I finally got my act together and, moved forward. I still would have gone to college. I loved all 4 years at the university I attended. I still would have done ROTC. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. In fact, I think some of the best 4 years of my life were at college. I loved every single day. I don't think there was a day at all during my 4 years of college that I didn't like. And I wasn't out partying and doing all this stuff. It was just a great time. I probably would have stayed in the active reserves after I came off active duty when I went to law school. I probably most certainly would not have wanted to do family law. I hate family law. I hate divorce. I think it sucks, but I was good at it. It was something I was thrown into, and I did many other areas of law. And I met a lot of good people, but I probably would have, knowing what I know now, chosen something a lot different. I would have moved to the coast right away. I grew up in Florida. I love the beach. I love the coast. And I don't like being inland. I would have moved to the coast to work. And that's where I'm going to end up. That's where I'm going to move to. I'm going to move to the coast. I'm there quite a bit, and that's where I want to go permanently. I would have done that differently. Marriage. Again, I got on the bad say about my ex-wives. I have 2 of them, but I rushed into marriage, and I really didn't understand what I was doing. Yeah, I understand the babes. Hey, I'm getting married, but the reality was that I rushed into them. I wouldn't have done it. I clearly was not ready. I clearly was not mature enough, in my opinion, both times. And the first time I was 25, the second time I was 35. 10 years span difference. Now, saying that, I'm glad I have my son. I love my son. So, yeah, I'm glad I have my son. I couldn't have had my son unless I got married the second time. So, I definitely want my son. So I don't want him to think that he's out there listening that I don't love him and I don't want him. Of course I do. But I probably would have approached marriage a lot differently, way differently. So, the great thing I got out of the marriages from the first marriage was my first wife. She was smart. She was super smart, and can't take that away from her. And for my second marriage, she gave me our son. It was great. Let's see. What else would I have done differently? I think perhaps I would have started my own law firm sooner. I probably would have done that. Yeah, I would have done that. I would have probably started sooner, and I would have set an exit plan for 20 years and done that. So 20 years, I'm done with that. I want to move on to something else. I would have done that. I would have done that differently. I would have clearly, I don't know if I would have traveled more. I lived overseas for 5 years, but I think I would have seen more of my country because I haven't seen a lot of my own country. And there are some things that I do want to see. And I hate flying. I just don't like flying anymore. You get on the planes, the long lines, TSA, all the stuff that goes with it, people that flip out on the planes. I just don't like to fly anymore. So I probably would have, there are places in the United States I really would like to see. Because I was blessed enough to spend 5 years in Europe, and I got to see a lot of countries and cultures and all those sorts of things. And I was grateful. I even got to go to places where my father fought in actual combat in World War II when he was a young lieutenant. So I'm grateful for that. Let's see. What else would I have done differently? What else would I have done do-overs? I would have been more truthful to myself. I wouldn't have lied to myself as much. I would have looked at me and go, no, man, that's not what you want to do. Stop kowtowing. Stop giving in. Don't do it just because you feel odd. I would have drawn the lines in the sand. I would have given myself more space. And I would not have given my time to stupid people and stupid things. I wouldn't. I would have learned those lessons early in the game. Let's see what else. What else would I have done? I've always liked to, be physically fit. I probably would have gotten more into nutrition besides exercising, because nutrition is really 80% of the battle. If you eat crap food, you drink crap drinks, you're going to get fat. It doesn't matter if you do 100 push-ups a minute. Your nutrition is still critical. I would have, let's see what else I would have done. I probably would have gotten involved a lot more in some of the governmental things at the state and federal level. Probably a lot more. Not so much like a lobbyist or anything like that, but just gotten more involved and gotten people to get more involved and to get educated. I would have done that. I would have learned. I would have wanted to. I studied French for 7 years. I spoke some conversational German. I would like to learn probably about 4 languages fluently. Yeah, I'd like to do that. And not rely on AI and all these new translator devices, because I hate AI. I hate it. Okay, I just hate it. I would have liked to have been able to speak a language fluently, walk up to somebody, shake their hand, sit down with dinner, and be able to talk fluently in their language, because that's being courteous. And people appreciate that. So I would have done that if I had to do it over. Well, let's see what else I would have done. Oh, okay. Here's the big list. Okay. If you break the 10 commandments, the 10 big ones, any of them, you're going to pay the price. I would have really, really focused, doubled and tripled down on those 10 main rules that came from God to Moses. Yeah, because those 10 main rules that God set down, that's where everybody screws up. We all do. We all violate one or more of them. Don't say you don't, because you do. But I would have been way more cognizant, and I would not have been as weak and given a temptation. I would have really fought the good fight and put on that sword and shield that God talks about. Yeah, I'd have done that. Let's see, what else would I have done over? I would have written more letters. I like to write. All this crap of texting and, social media and email stuff. Man, it just takes the humanity and the personal touch out of everything. It really does. It really, really does. Let's see, what else? Well, I know for sure I wouldn't want to live up north in the snow. I don't like snow and real cold weather. It's not my bag. I hate cloudy, gray areas like Seattle, places like that. I don't know how you people standing out there in Washington State sometimes. All that rain, all that cloud and gray. Ick. I wouldn't have wanted to done that. Let's see what else would I if I had to do over. I would have pursued my writing a lot earlier, a lot more, and not been so. Put it off for another day because I let everything get in the way. I've done that. I would have been more forgiving of myself for being stupid. And the list is long of me being stupid. It is. I would have done that. Let me see what else. Oh man, the list is endless. But yeah, if I could go back in time, knowing what I know now, yeah, I'd do things differently. You bet I would. I don't know. Maybe my life would have turned out differently and been 10 times worse. You never know. But I thought about that as I guess celebrated my birthday. Is that what we do? We celebrate our birthday. But I think about it a lot. We do. People say, the good old days, yeah, well, they were. Well, I loved my friends I grew up with. I still do. They're great. The schools I went to, they were public schools. They were great. The university I went to, I loved it. It was great. I even liked law school. I felt privileged and honored and blessed to be there. My classmates are great. I have great friends. I love my family. I love Thanksgiving. I loved Christmas. I loved spring break. In fact, when I grew up in Florida, I didn't go to the beaches and travel to Mexico or anything. I went home for spring break. I lived in Clearwater, Florida. Why do I need to go anywhere? I live near the beach. And I love being around my family. And I love seeing my friends. I loved it. I probably would have gone to the movies more. I used to love going to the movies. I don't like it so much anymore. It's not so safe. It's uncomfortable. And popcorn's like $80 a bag, kind of like the present price of gasoline and oil in the world today. Not to mention the drink that comes like $35 for a 6-ounce drink. By the time you walk out, you're like, oh my God, it's like a student loan. Hit 25% interest. By the time you get out of there, you got to get a loan to get any of the snacks and drinks at movie theaters anymore. If I had to do over. Oh, okay. Here's a big one. I'd have put that cell phone down a hell of a lot more. I just put it down. I would not have become so reliant on it. I'm beginning to hate my cell phone. It's like a love-hate relationship. I want to file for divorce from my cell phone. I really do. I do. I just want to, there are days I want to take my cell phone. If I could go back in time, I'd find the people that invented cell phones and kidnap them and hide them away in a cave where they couldn't invent cell phones. Because I think that's been the great demise of the world. We're so attached to cell phones. Yeah, I'd do that. I'd have a do right. I'd find them and hide them so that they couldn't invent them. Let's see. What else would I do as a do-over? Oh, EV cars. Yeah, I find the people that want to invent them. I'd slap them. We need back the muscle cars like the Mustang and the Camaro and the GTO. Cars like that, the real muscle cars, And I take all this electric crap off of them that cost you an arm and a leg just to get a new circuit board put in them. I would do that. I'd find them, kidnap them, hide them. They'd never be found again to invent all these stupid EV cars and all this other crap we got. Let me see what else I've done. Oh, God. I mean, there's just so much. I mean, What? I mean, let me hear your comments. What would you do? If you could do a do-over, what would you do? I know a lot of times you'd be like, well, I wouldn't have gotten married, or I wouldn't have married this person, or I would have divorced her. I know, I get it. But really, what's your list? I want to kind of just to go over that, because I'm going to tell you something. I've had a lot of time to think about this. And when I set up the other night, I'm like, man, my birthday, I'll be this age. I'm like, yeah. I don't care what other people say. If some people say, I would have done anything differently. Oh, yes, you would. You would too. Quit virtue signaling. So anyway, that's the episode tonight about do-overs. What would you do over if you could go back in time? I don't care. Pick like 12, 13, 16, 18. Hell, I don't know. Pick it. What would you do differently? If you could go back and talk to yourself, what would you say to yourself going back in time? I know what I would say. It'd be a lot more than that. All right. This has been another episode of Bryce and I with Escape the Legal Matrix. Live from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Home of Fort Bragg. Every day men and women do what? They don the uniform and go wage war against enemies that want to do what? They want to take away our freedoms that we so often take for granted. Okay? That's what they want to do. All right. This is Bryce and Drake, and we are out of here.